Charlie Best, and you're listening to today's Boondoggle.
This is Mark Metcalf, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio.
You are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio. Yes, Kato Kalin listens to this all the time.
Welcome to today's Boondoggle. Now here's your host.
What's going on, everybody? It's Bill Bailey with today's Boondoggle, and take two. I'm able to get on here with Ethan of the band Chain Saint. What's going on, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. It's good to finally get this going the right way.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we had the whole gang last time. You guys were in the van and everything, but yeah, technical difficulties wouldn't let us have this conversation. So really stoked to be having it today, man. Yeah, usually when I have people on for the first time, I like to go back, man. Do you remember originally what you wanted to be when you grew up?
I think originally I wanted to be a professional baseball player because I used to play little leagues when I was younger. And, you know, every kid has the dream of, you know, race car driver, astronaut. But originally music wasn't really the dream for me, but it just kind of changed over time, and you know, now it's what I want to do forever.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So like, what was some of the earliest music you would hear around the house that kind of caught your ear?
I'd say the earliest music that really would inspire me and kind of move me more was things my dad would put on, like Van Halen and a lot of early 80s stuff, and just, you know, classic rock and stuff like that, listening to Sabbath and all those bands. That stuff really resonated with me when I was younger. And compared to, you know, other music, I was raised in a Latin household. So, you know, there's different mixes of culture and music that was going on, but the early stuff that my dad would show me really just moved me a lot more. And especially hearing, most notably, Eddie Van Halen's guitar playing moved me a lot.
Awesome. And then, like, so when was it that you started like wanting to perform and, you know, picking up an instrument and learning? So
many don't really know, but when I was about 7 or 8, I actually played violin very briefly. And I hope he's not watching this, but my instructor, I didn't really like him that much, to put it lightly. So I didn't play violin really moving forward. And then I started playing piano for a little bit, and slowly that segued into guitar because I found my brother's old Starcaster in his closet, dusted that thing off, and started playing. And I remember the first song I learned was Jumping Jack Flash by the Rolling Stones. And I started taking lessons when I first started playing when I was around, I think, about 14, however old I was when COVID first started. And I remember just taking lessons, and they would kind of have us play with other people that were taking lessons, and you would learn songs and play together. And after starting to play these kind of set lists, I just realized this is the most fun I've ever had, and this really fulfills me. And eventually they would do these type of shows where those kids, you play the songs, and, you know, it'd mostly just be your parents there. But the feeling of getting on stage and playing the songs and just really enjoying it live made me realize that that's what I wanted to do, and eventually do it with original music.
Nice. So then was that like a kind of like a Zoom type classroom during that time period?
Well, originally I'd started before they ended up closing it very briefly. And then it kind of became, you know, COVID and everything was online. So I'd stopped taking lessons, and I'd started just playing on my own, practicing and trying to teach myself as much as possible. And then eventually when they reopened, I went back again for a little bit. And then it really started to spark more because I had played those first, I think it was 2 shows that I played before they kind of stopped with COVID. And I just remember thinking about it in my room when I'd be trying to sneak my guitar under the camera in my school Zoom classes. And then we finally got back and we kept playing the shows, and that just solidified it for me that that's what I wanted to do.
Awesome. So then, was this like a School of Rock or something that you
Yes,
were
it
part
was
of?
actually.
Oh, nice. And you're up in what, New York?
No, I'm in New York right now, but I live in Coral Springs in Florida.
Okay, so there was one down there that you were a part of?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I've had students from there before, man. And it's great to see,
Mhm.
what you guys are doing today. So then, like, when was it that, like, Chained Saint came together?
So, matter of fact, I had met a lot of them at School of Rock, where our singer Sean, me and him had been friends. We had been playing in the first show together, which was a Rolling Stones show, and that's how we met. And we would kind of just jam in his garage, playing, Dream Theater covers and Rush covers, because we were big prog heads back then, and we kind of just kept playing and playing. Eventually, I met Sebastian, our bass player, and Cameron our drummer didn't go to School of Rock, but we all just shared the same passion for music and the same upbringing of music that we all kind of had. And, we kind of all became acquainted and then became better friends through the program, and eventually kind of just started jamming outside of School of Rock. And we would go to my house and set up in my garage and just play, Metallica covers, Megadeth covers, all that type of stuff. And then I eventually met Cameron, our drummer, who was in my guitar class at school, at my high school. And we find it very funny because he sat on one side of the classroom and I sat on the other. And I'd play like songs that I knew he recognized. And he'd look over at me and I'm like, okay, this guy gets it. And, we started becoming friends. And then eventually we asked him, I walked up to him because he told the teacher, he's like, hey, I'm a drummer. I don't really play guitar, but I'm a drummer. And I'm like, wow, this is perfect, because we needed a drummer really bad. And I asked him to jam. And I remember the first song we played was Motor Breath by Metallica. And from then on, it just, we just all loved it. And just that's how the band started. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, who came up with the name Chained Saint? Like, what's the meaning behind that for you guys?
So that was actually me, and I came up with that name. I was sitting in my Algebra 1 class in, I think, freshman year, and we were that's when we finally had just been jamming a little bit, the four of us, and playing together. We were like, okay, we need a name. Let's start writing some music. We need a name, and I kind of just started writing down names that I really thought were cool, and names I'd send it to them on our group chat. And I told them, okay, let's everyone pick their top 5 out of this list of like 30 names, and just send it back, and then we'll narrow it down and see what we all like the most. And everyone the exact same time sent it back, and their number 1 was Chained Saint. And we just kind of from there, we're like, we all know this is our favorite, and we thought that it represented the sound that we wanted to give out, and we thought it was just perfect for us, and we just stuck with it.
Awesome. So then, like, you guys, you come up with the name, you start playing together, all meeting in high school and stuff. When was it that you started performing live in front of an audience?
So I think our first performance was at a place in, I forget exactly what it's called. It's called Propaganda. It's a venue in Lake Worth, Florida. And that was our first show together. And after we wrote, I think, about 3 or 4 original songs, and we had a few covers in there, we drove out there. It was about an hour drive from where we live. And we just threw all our stuff into our singer's mom's minivan and just went up there and played, and we had a blast. And from then on, people started moshing at that show, and we were just like, wow, this is so much fun. And we were just thirsty for more after that.
Awesome. So then how did you guys you started, that was your first show. And then after that, you obviously started playing out more, but how did you guys, you guys have kind of been taken under the wing of William Duvall of Alice in Chains. How did you guys connect with him or catch his ear?
So he had actually been a longtime family friend, but it was nothing more really than he heard a demo of us playing, and my dad had sent it to him just because he was like, my kid's doing this, he's playing these songs, it doesn't sound half bad. Should he keep doing this, or should he cut his hair and play sports? And William surprisingly wrote back, and he was really intrigued with what was going on, and he wanted to hear more. And we were really surprised, but we were really inspired after hearing that. And we kept writing, and we eventually recorded another home demo. And then we went eventually to a studio and did a 4-track demo, which we sent to him. And I think some of the songs on there that are on the album now include Neanderthal and Locked Away. And then two songs that didn't make it to the record. But he heard that, and then he wanted to come down and meet us, and he came to Miami, and we kind of had a weekend where we rehearsed, and he kind of just watched us rehearse and write a little bit. And then after that, he said, I want you guys to come to Atlanta, and I want to produce you guys and do this record. And a few months later, we went out and recorded Blind Side with him, and it was really just a dream come true.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. So, like, I mean, you guys are a pretty young band as well. I mean, not just, as a band coming together, but like, I mean, who's the oldest in the group, and how old are they?
Cameron's the oldest, and he just recently turned 20.
Yeah. So it's like, not only hearing, what was that?
He's the oldest by far. All of us are just 18, just turning 19. So he's like the dad of the group.
But, it's like, hearing, I mean, for William to hear you guys play and then taking that into consideration, I mean, it's just like, this is just the beginning, man. The sky's the limit. You're only going to keep getting better and better. So it's like, it's awesome to have him getting behind you and getting you guys out there. I want to ask, about, I mean, you said Blindside was the first one you guys did with him in the studio. And your latest single, was it 1,000 Tons?
Sir.
Yeah. How did, let me ask you about like what the inspiration is or the message behind that song.
So, I mean, the main message behind that song is really just to be more of an anthem for people who have 1,000 tons of pressure in their life. And, some people are really weighed down by the weight of the world. And a lot of people don't know how to put that out, or some people don't even know if people can relate to them. And there was a point, we were going through a lot of things after the record went out. And, we had actually wrote that song while we were in the studio recording Blindside. So we've been sitting on it for a long time. And it's really just for people to listen and to kind of know that, they're not alone. There's, we understand. And for whatever pressure it is, whether it's from a job, whether it's from anything really in their life, just to kind of know that, quote unquote, there is no stopping us, and that, we hear them, we understand, and that they can kind of relieve that pressure with us and kind of know that people understand, and kind of make it an anthem for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a 52-year-old man, and that really inspired me listening to that song as well. And I really liked the lyric video with the old English art and stuff in it. That was really kick-ass. And I wanted to ask about your other older track, Animosity. That was what was it, featured in WWE 2K24?
Yes, sir.
Like, how did that connection happen?
Well, they reached out to us, and they'd heard the song, and they reached out and wanted to use it for one of their DLCs, and they felt that it was very fitting for the wrestlers in the DLC and for kind of just the feel of the song. And we're very grateful. We're definitely WWE fans, and we've gone to a few events now, so we were just beyond grateful that they would put that in the game. And yeah, they kind of just reached out, and of course, we're like, yeah, let's put that in the game. I mean, I never thought I'd be in a video game, much less the music. So we're just super happy for that opportunity and very grateful.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, I too am a old school
Mhm.
WWE fan. It's been a rough week for me and my childhood, man, losing Ozzy and now Hulk Hogan today.
Yeah,
You
unfortunately.
know, but yeah, I'm still staying connected and watching the shows and enjoying it. It's my nice distraction from reality in the real world at times.
Absolutely.
Definitely enjoy that. So yeah, as you said, you're fans of wrestling. You've been to a few events. Like, what's who's some of your favorites?
When I was younger, I definitely got to say, well, I'd say younger, but more recently younger. When I started getting into punk, I really related to CM Punk because I just thought he was so cool. Um, Out of the four of us, I'd say Sebastian, our bassist, is the more hardcore WWE fan. I mean, he could sit here and list everyone they fought, just everything, you know. But yeah, I'd say still for me, maybe CM Punk. I love the logo. I love his look. I love his vibe. You know, I love the name, and just the whole thing for me. I dig it.
Awesome. And then I wanted to ask a little bit about the Stronger Than Stone video. I enjoyed that song, and it was cool seeing a Hatebreed shirt represented in that as well. Like, is that one of the bands that's kind of like? I mean, obviously you're working with William, so I would say Alice in Chains is an inspiration. But is Hatebreed also one of your guys' inspirations?
Absolutely. We are massive Hatebreed fans. Also, shout out Hatebreed. I love the new single that just dropped. It's great. But yeah, we're huge fans. Every single sound check, it's like a ritual that we have. Every sound check before a show, we play Not One Truth and then into Betrayed by Life from the Satisfaction album. Because we're big fans. We're big hardcore kids, and that's the stuff we really resonate with, especially now. So yeah, I'd definitely say Hatebreed. Love them. Shout out Hatebreed, and yeah, again, love the new single.
Dude, that's amazing. Yeah, I used to like Florida Frank, who's in the
Mhm.
band, is originally from Cleveland, and we used to be roommates back in the day. So
So cool.
yeah, it's been awesome to see him, just pursuing his dream out there. So I'll make sure that I'll send him this. Maybe you guys could be on a Hatebreed touring package sometime down the line. I know Josta would be all about it.
Yeah, I love that for sure.
And then, like you said, we mentioned the single "Blind Side," but it's also the name of the album out now. Like, where can fans pick that up?
Like the record.
Yeah.
I mean, mainly on our website. We're trying. Right now, we're in the process of getting that into record stores and getting the record out there. Same thing with 1,000 Tons as a single, but the easiest way to get the record is just chainsaint.com and just order it online. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know we live in the world of like streaming, so they could go to like, Apple and
Oh yeah,
Spotify and all that
definitely,
stuff as well. But I'm old school, so I still like having like a physical,
of course.
physical copy and check out the artwork, read the lyrics, the liner notes, all that good stuff, man. So I'll be looking out for that for sure.
Yeah.
And
Thank
then as we were talking about, with William kind of taking you guys under his wing and stuff, you guys had the opportunity to go out with Alice in Chains before Sean unfortunately got sick. But what was that experience like? And how stoked were you guys for that opportunity?
Oh, that was even with everything that happened, that was still a blast. We're grateful for the opportunity, and we're just happy to have gotten that experience. Even to just sound check on a stage of that magnitude was really just amazing for us. It was, of course, a bummer, but we wish the best to Sean, we wish best to everyone, and we're just glad to have had that opportunity. But it was really cool to kind of see how a band like Alice in Chains, how they roll in and how they set up and how they sound check and just how everything really works out with something like that. And it kind of showed us like it's a real professional process, and hopefully one day we're doing the same thing.
Oh, I'm sure that'll happen, man.
Thank you.
Amazing. Now, I read too, you know, like talking about me being old school, that you guys, when you recorded and mixed the album, it was all like an analog tape, you know, like the old school days. Was that by your guys' design, or did William have like input into that?
So it was a mix of both, because all the records that we were influenced by have all been recorded the same way. So, you know, we loved the sound and we knew what we wanted it to sound like. And William was also on the same page with how he thought that, from a producing standpoint, how it should sound and the best way for it to come out. And, you know, the only difficulty, of course, is going through the recording process because of how precise you have to be. But we love the way it came out, and, you know, we all kind of just shared the same vision going into the studio, and that's what we put out, and we couldn't be happier because it's exactly what we wanted it to sound like.
Yeah, I love it, man. And then, you know, you guys, you just completed the Blindside tour?
Yes, we just came back about a week ago.
Nice. And then what's you know, what's the plan now? And are you getting ready to go back out anytime soon?
Yeah, so in about 2 weeks, we are heading out back to LA to play at the Whiskey A Go Go, which we're really excited about. We're co-headlining for Not Sick, which is going to be really cool. Shout out Not Sick, by the way. Those guys are great. And then after that, we've got just festivals. We've got Rocklahoma, we got Louder Than Life, and then we've got Warped Tour lined up. And of course, in between that, you know, for anyone in Florida, we'll be doing some local shows. But for now, those are the most notable things that we got going on.
Nice. And then you mentioned Louder. I just last weekend I was just at Incarceration Festival here, and like what? And you know, I was at Sonic Temple too, when unfortunately, you know, Alice Chains had to drop off. But like, have you guys played any of the Danny Wimmer festivals yet?
Yeah, so we were at Rockville, which was a blast. That was the first real festival that I'd even attended as a fan. So overall, that was just a blast, and I can't wait to, you know, go to the next ones, go to Louder Than Life, and especially Warped Tour, which would be cool to be so close to home in Orlando.
Nice. And then you know, I read that you guys even caught the ear of Rob Halford of Judas Priest, and he gave you guys props. How did that come together?
That was, you know, we were just kind of I think it was Cameron's dad, our drummer, was looking through the comments of one of the YouTube videos for one of the songs. I think it was Demon Inside, and he saw a comment where someone written, and I guess it was a friend of Rob Halford, and he was saying, "Love the song. Rob Halford approves. He loves it too." And then we were like, "Whoa, first of all, it's just so amazing just to even see that." Then I think he was on Loudwire. He did an interview where he actually was talking about up and coming bands and bands that he really likes right now with new music. And he listed us, and we're just wow, you know, it was just so amazing to see that. Such a legend, you know, such as Rob Halford, whose music, you know, we'd been influenced to, you know, just to even start playing this music. So seeing that just be so organic was just really cool to see.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. And I'm like, you know, I mean, I'm stoked for the future. You know, it was just like a lot of people were getting like, you know, oh, you know, the older people, like, get off my lawn type of metal fans, I guess, you know, or like, you know, garage band or whatever, all the, you know, electronic and all that stuff a lot of people are using today. I understand it's convenient, but it's like, you know, you guys still keeping that old school sound and bringing that old school sound out there on the road. It's just, you know, hats off to you guys. You know, I think the future is pretty bright. I also had the band Return to Dust on, and I could definitely see an awesome tour package with you guys together at some point, man. Just like the Youth Gone Wild or whatever you know they want to call it. But it's nice, man, to see that the future of metal and rock's in good hands with you guys out there.
Well, thank you. I greatly appreciate that.
So like, what's after? I mean, you got those notable shows coming up, but like other than that, like what goals do you guys have set for yourselves as a band?
Well, I mean, at least in the near future, goal wise, we just want to keep playing and just trying to keep getting out there as much as possible for people. We've been writing a lot of new music. Our goal is to release an EP sometime by the end of the year, with about 5 new songs. Can't say too much about that just yet, but that's definitely our biggest goal for now, is just to get that going, get into the recording process. We've already have the songs, so we're just ready to get in there and just kind of hash it all out and just do it and get it out there.
And what would you say, like, I mean, you guys are pretty much is everybody graduated now, freshly out of high school, or?
Yeah, I just graduated, so I was the baby of the group, and now I just graduated.
And what was the the experience like going out on the road for your first time?
It was a lot of fun. I have to say that was the most fun we've had as a group together, for sure, because we've gone together for these other shows and for things like Rockville and last time we were in LA, but this was, just to kind of do it in the van, long drives, no sleep, loading in and loading out and all the stuff that it entails. It was, it really solidified that that's what we want to do. This is what we signed up for, and we just love the process. And I really could say that like this was the most fun 3 to 4 weeks I've ever experienced in my life.
That's great, man. It's like enjoy it now in your youth,
Yeah,
sleeping in the van and all that stuff, that'll wear on you. But it sounds like you guys got a good core group of people around you too, people like, I mean, you're learning a lot of what to do and how to do it properly out on the roads. And maybe, hopefully people are teaching you, what not to do and what traps not to fall in as well. I'm a guy that's just celebrates, 16 years of sobriety. And I was in that world of, wasn't making all the right choices, so, maintain that youth and that energy and stuff, and try not to, stay focused to the end goal,
Yes. Yeah, we're very grateful for the team and the people we have around us, keeping us on track. And we all are on top of each other. We all have the same goals, so we make sure everyone's, locked in mentally and physically and just ready to do what we got to do.
Awesome. Yeah, I missed you guys, unfortunately, when you came to Cleveland or the Cleveland area at the grog shop and stuff. So I'm hoping sometime in the near future, you guys will be back through the area so I can be there and experience live, man. Now we talked a little bit about like Hatebreed and Alice in Chains and some of them being like and even Sabbath touching all of us still after so many years and inspiring musicians. But who would you say are the top 3 bands that you're listening to today?
Today, it actually varies, because one of my most listened to artists right now that I've been listening to is not even have to do with any of those. And I'll say it last, but I'd say my top 3 right now is a band called GodsHate from California. Love those guys, super hardcore from the San Fernando Valley.
Isn't that like Brody King's band or something too from AEW?
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Brody King's a legend. I love that guy. He sings in the band. Yeah, he's awesome. And then I'd say number 2, another band out of California, Tsunami. They just released a split with another band, Pain of Truth. I can't get enough of it. It's only 4 songs, but like it's just I want more, And then I'd say my most listened to artist, surprisingly, recently is actually Billy Joel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm a huge Billy Joel fan, and especially being in New York right now, there's no better feeling than kind of walking around the city listening to Zanzibar, while it's kind of dark out, and it's just great. And I love that type of music, and he's always been a number 1 for me.
Awesome. And then I mean, just being freshly out of high school, so What class do you wish would have been mandatory or you would have had before graduating high school?
I mean, I would say a class like guitar and music theory, but they did have those in my school. If I had to choose another class, maybe a something to do with kind of just more open jamming, you know, something where they kind of just teach you to get together with other musicians and almost like a school of rock, but in school where you can kind of just jam and learn that creative side of a musician, you know. I would have really enjoyed that, especially having a lot of friends in high school that we used to jam at my house, you know, and knowing a lot of people who played music. So it would have been really cool to have a class just dedicated to that. Almost like perfect example would be School of Rock, the movie, you know?
Nice.
Like that, having a teacher like Jack Black would be a dream come true. Be amazing.
Great. And then who are three people who've inspired you and you can credit for making you the person you are today?
I have to say number one, my dad, of course. He's definitely my biggest hero. Number two, artist-wise, again, Billy Joel. There's just something about him that really speaks to me, you know, in his writing, his songwriting, just the way he is as a person. I really love it. And I'd say number three, probably my grandfather. You know, I think he passed away too soon, but he was a great inspiration for me. He really got me into music. He was a piano player, so for me, he was just, you know, I like to think, what would he tell me to do, you know, nowadays with all the music, or what would he think? And I still view him as a big inspiration.
That's awesome. And then favorite toy before you got into music, favorite toy as a child?
Favorite toy? I have a very vivid memory, actually, of a toy that I used to enjoy a lot. It was a Darth Vader doll. Not really a doll, but it was like an action figure, and it was about this big. And I remember so vividly the memory of I was with my family once, and I was arguing with my little brother for over some nonsense. I probably took like a piece of his pancakes or something, and he snatches the Darth Vader out of my hands and throws it on the ground. And it broke in half, and I was devastated because that Darth Vader was like my life. You know, I loved that because I'm a big Star Wars fan. I love that stuff. So I was just like, no, my Darth Vader. But that was for sure like my big toy for me. Or maybe in more recent years, I remember when the fidget spinners came out. I remember I was in like, I think 6th grade. I loved those things. It was just like so entertaining.
Nice. And then you know, I always like to, I'm retired military, so it's like I always remember like when I was on my last deployment, you know, one of the things that would get me by was just putting on my headphones and either listening to music or like podcasts and stuff to kind of just like, you know, so I could just kind of take me away out of the situation for a little bit momentary reprieve. And that's kind of like part of the inspiration why I do this now today. So do you have any message that you have for our military members that are currently serving overseas?
Oh yeah, I mean, first to you, thank you for your service. And, you know, if I could say one thing, is the same way that you would listen to music. If there's anyone out there that listens to our music and if they feel the same way, then, you know, that basically fulfills me as a musician. Just to know that someone could listen on their headphones and kind of tune out, and especially if it's something that we've created, you know, that's a blessing. And, you know, of course, you know, thank you for everything and being safe, and stay safe out there. Thank you for protecting us, and just, you know, all of the above. And there's a lot more I would say, but it's just not coming out of the head right now. But you know,
I got you.
Everyone, and to you especially, thank you for your service.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Hey, well, you know, Ethan, it's been great talking with you, man. I really appreciate it. I'm glad we got this to work this time. Man, I look forward to what the future holds for you guys, and hope to catch it live next time you come through the Cleveland area.
Absolutely.
And if I could ask like one last favor before I let you go, do you mind cutting a promo ID for the show? Just introduce yourself and you're listening to today's Boondoggle.
Oh yeah. All right. I'm Ethan Kahn. I play guitar in Shane Saint, and this is today's Boondoggle.
Awesome. Ethan, thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it. Great talking with you.
Thank you for having me. This was a blast.
Awesome. You take care.
All right, thank you.
Alright! Listen up! Hold on to your seats! Grab your girls, grab your beers!
Hey everybody, this is Charlie from Anthrax, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.
This is Mark Metcalf, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio.
You are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio. Yes, Kato Kalin listens to this all the time.
Welcome to today's Boondoggle. Now here's your host.
I am Monty Heath, so one Heath, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.
Hey, what's up? It's John from Skillet, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle on Domain Cleveland Radio.